to principle number 3. Here it is. Do what you love. Let me repeat it. Do what you love. Now, I remember when I was young, my parents would ask me what I was going to do when I grew up. And I would answer, well, I'm not sure yet, but when I find something I really love, I'll know it. And they would actually get upset with me. They would scold, Harv, don't be such a princess. You should do what will make you the most money. Remember, business and enjoyment, well, they're different. During the week, you work. And on Saturday night and Sunday, you can enjoy your life. That's real life. Get used to it. And so I did. I took their advice and I looked for business opportunities that could make me rich. And I was convinced that if I could just find the right business at the right time, I would make millions. In fact, my expertise actually became in finding today's hottest new businesses, and I was really good at it. I could actually smell a trend happening. And so I went through business after business, thinking the key ingredient was having the right vehicle. The problem was that I kept finding things wrong with that business and I wasn't succeeding. The same business that was working for others, well, that wasn't working for me. And as I mentioned before, I ended up so broke that I had to go back home and move in with my parents again. Now, I was living in Florida at that time, and they were living in Canada. And I showed up back in Canada smack dab in the middle of winter. And I had been big into fitness myself. I always worked out, I ran, and I used to run between 5 and 8 miles a day along the beach in Florida. But when I got to Canada, first, there was no beach, okay? And second, I could barely walk in the snow, let alone run in it. So I started looking for fitness equipment that I could buy and use in the house. And there was hardly anything, and everything that was there was, I gotta say, was pure garbage. And I remember thinking to myself, there might not be any money in this, but maybe I'm gonna open some kind of fitness-based business. First, so I could have some equipment to use myself, and second, maybe I can share my passion and my workout knowledge and help some other folks get fit. I wasn't thinking about the money. And so was born the original idea of a home fitness retail store. It wasn't because I was sure to make a fortune in this arena. It was because I was totally into it myself. It was my hobby. It was my pastime. I loved being in shape. I loved talking about fitness and exercise. I loved reading about it. I loved everything about it. And it was out of sheer frustration of not succeeding in anything else that was supposed to be a hot business that I was willing to try. I said, what the heck? I'll do this because I like it. And even if it's only enough to survive, that's okay. At least I'll enjoy it. Of course, as they say, the rest is history. I got rich and I learned a very valuable lesson. The shoe has to fit. I repeat, the shoe has to fit. In my live seminars, to prove this point, I often ask the participants to take their shoes off. They don't know what's going on. It's an exercise, right? And then I have them exchange their shoes with the person beside them and then try to walk. And it's unbelievable. It's so hilarious to watch this thing. No one can literally walk more than a few yards without either falling over or sitting back down really quickly because their feet hurt so bad. Then I say, how many of you would be willing to walk in those shoes that you were just had on from the other person for 8 hours a day, and that knowing that they don't fit you? And they all laugh. They go, of course not. Who would do that? And I answer, you would. All of you who are in a business or even a job that you don't love, you're doing it. So I'm not saying, everybody, that you have to love every single thing about this situation. Nothing is perfect in that way. We all know that. But you have to at least have an interest and hopefully a talent in the arena as a whole. And I don't mean necessarily the technician part. I mean the industry, the field, the arena, as I said. So maybe you're not the greatest golfer in the world yourself, but you love golf. Maybe you love books. Maybe you love fashion. Maybe you love furniture. Maybe you love video gaming. Great. then that's the arena you should be involved in. Why? First, because you will enjoy your life more. Is that a good reason? I hope so, okay? Second, because you will have much more success. You're going to have more success because you will have more energy, excitement, and enthusiasm around this business. And here's something you also might want to write down. Listen closely. Enthusiasm is the greatest sales factor in existence. I'll say that again. Enthusiasm is the greatest sales factor in existence. Enthusiasm is contagious. Your excitement and energy are transferred to your prospective customers or clients, and they are much more prone to buy from you. Another reason you will succeed is because you at least stay with the business. Let me give you an important example. Listen closely here. I want you to imagine that you are driving on a highway and you're looking for an exit, okay? And you're not exactly sure where the exit is, but you're looking for it, okay? Question, what lane do you drive in as you're looking? The fast lane, the express lane, or the slow lane? Of course, you don't want to miss the exit, so you drive in the what? The slow lane. Now imagine, on the other hand, you know exactly where you're going. You're not planning on getting off this road for a very, very, very long time. No exit in your mind, nothing, okay? What lane might you probably drive in? Well, probably the express lane, the fast lane, yes? My friends, when you are in a job or a business that you don't love, you are, listen closely now, subconsciously looking for a way out. You are subconsciously looking for an exit. And to make sure you don't miss it, you end up driving in the what lane? The slow lane. You don't even know you're driving the slow lane, but you are. But when you love what you do, you have no intention of getting off, and so you end up in the fast lane and you become successful. Does this make sense? Yeah, well, sure, but Harv, there are certainly people who make a fortune and feels that they don't really like. You know what? I would agree. There's always exceptions to the rule. And you know what? That might happen. But first, it's seldom. Second, in the end, a lot of those people end up, listen closely now, losing their money. Why? Because they get tired of it. They get tired of that business or that situation. And what did I say earlier? Enthusiasm sells. Tired does not. Do you understand? I sure hope so. Okay, so you might ask, well, how do I know what I love? What's my area? How do I know what's right for me? How do I know what's the right fit for me? Here's a simple way of knowing. What are your hobbies? What are the activities that you normally do? What are your interests? What do you do with your spare time? What would you do if you did have spare time? What do you talk about? What do you like to talk about? Here's an exercise that I give my seminar students. So I want to give it to you. I say, and it's at lunchtime, so I say, go out this lunchtime, and for real, I want you to go to a bookstore, and I want you to buy 3 magazines. And sometimes they do it online. Sometimes they go out for lunch and they do it. Buy 3 magazines. Actually pay for them. You have to pay for them, okay? And they do. And when they come back, I ask them to write down the subjects of those magazines, and I ask them why they bought those magazines. And they answer, because I'm interested in that. And I go, duh, maybe that's a field to consider. Good or good. Okay. Now, the final clue that I'm going to give you right now is this one. What are you naturally talented at? Not so much a learned skill. Why? Because you could have been talked into doing that a long time ago, and maybe it wasn't fully your choice. Maybe your parents had something to do with it, whatever. The guidance counselor, I'm gonna be a lawyer. Why? Because everyone tells me I should be a lawyer. Do I want to be a lawyer? No, I don't want to be a lawyer. Okay. So, what are your natural talents? What are you naturally pretty good at that a lot of others, well, they have some challenges with it? Are you naturally compassionate? Are you naturally a pretty good communicator? Are you a good writer? Are you a good speaker? Do you have an eye for fashion? Do you have a knack for home renovations? Are you good with your hands? Does solving problems in the legal world interest you? Do you read medical journals or things like that? Whatever it is could be a great clue and is a great clue to your passion. Regardless, Broke Harv believed that work is work and joy is joy, and the two do not go together. Rich Harv now absolutely knows that if you don't do what you love, you will hate your life and go broke. And that following that natural joy of yours is the only way to true and lasting happiness and success. So let's do this declaration together. Put your hand on your heart if you feel inclined to do so. I do. And repeat after me. Here we go. I get rich doing what I love. Let's repeat it. Here goes. I get rich doing what I love. Now give yourself a high five and say, I'm amazing. Good job. Okay, are you ready for principle number what? 4?